America, we have a problem. We have a problem. And it seems like we know about it, but it's just like nothing is being done. Like, that's the part that's like killing me, because like everybody seems to know about it, but nothing is being done. We have elderly people selling their homes because they can't afford to stay in them. Not that their houses are not paid off. They're paid off. They spent 20, 30 years paying the bank, paying their mortgage. They can't afford the property taxes. So they're having to sell their house. You see, between the price of their co-pays and their prescriptions, and then the increased cost in food, their property taxes in some areas are quadrupling. I know a guy. He's over the age of 65. He's on disability. Owns his house outright. He needs his roof repaired. He actually needs a whole new roof. They quoted him like $14,000. He can't afford that. He needed to cut down a tree in his backyard. The city told him he had to pay an arbitrationist to come out. He can't afford that. The tree fell on part of his roof, damaged his gutter. So now he has a bigger issue. Now the roof is leaking and causing all types of damage in his home, and more than likely will lead to black mold in his home. His options are to sell his family home that he's raised 7 of his children in. Well, really, or lose his house to the government, because his taxes has gone from, I think he said roughly about $1,500 a year to $7,000. He's not the only man. He's not the only elderly person in this situation. The fact of the matter is, individuals over the age of 65 only make up roughly 18% of the United States population. The largest populated group is individuals between the age of 29 and 35. The problem is, not enough of us is looking 30 years down the line. And we need to, because we need to be the voice for them, because one day we will be them. Unless you plan on checking out, then find yourself a bridge. But if you don't, one day you'll be in that group. And we need to make sure that they are protected, because in a first world country, we should not have citizens being forced out of their home, not because of bad budgeting or bad planning, but because of government greed. Now, some states have, tried to do some things about this, like Government Camp in Georgia has tried to put forth a tax cap plan when it comes to property taxes, where it caps off how much property taxes can be raised per year. The problem is he allowed school districts to opt out of this. School districts make up roughly 65 to 70% of property taxes. And almost every school district in Georgia opted out of it. With all the meetings and city council BS that we went to, they still did that. So it literally did nothing for the people. I don't know if it was just a ploy for votes or what, but it didn't help. Now, I don't know about you, but to the MAGA crew of the Make America Great Again people, there's nothing great about forcing elderly people out of their homes that they raised their families in. Nothing at all. And considering that the vast majority of property taxes goes towards local education, and the quality of education in the United States is trash, we literally have high school graduates suing the school districts because they don't know shit. That's a problem. Now, my opinion is there should be a tax increase cap across the entire United States. No one should wake up and find out that their property taxes is going up 10, 15, 20, 30, sometimes even 75%. That's insane, and it should be illegal. No one should be forced out of their house because of property taxes. If anything, under the same ownership, meaning if it is not sold or transfers hands, there should be a 1% increase per year. Now, if the property transfers hands, then it can be brought up to the local most recent property tax value, and then the same 1% cap will continue. No one should be forced out of their home to pay their government for services that are already subpar. And for people that are not homeowners, it affects you as well, because when property taxes go up, rent goes up. They're not going to eat the cost of all of that. So in reality, it affects us all, because we are getting to a point where we are taxing our citizens to death. And if I recall, the United States kind of started because it didn't like hefty taxes.